G'day everyone, and welcome to Griffinix Tabletop Miniatures. In this video, we're going to have a look at this bolt action, Dad's Army Home Guard Platoon. We're going to have a little look at this rather old, yet great, little miniature. Well, here we are. Dad's Army Home Guard Platoon. Now all my lights are really reflecting off the surface of this box, which is making it rather annoying. So let's just zoom out a bit and try getting a little less of that on there. Yeah, there we go. It's a bit better than it was. Anyway, first of all, may I wish everybody out there who chooses to celebrate at Christmas a Merry Christmas for the last week. I'm sorry I didn't get a video out before then to say, to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. So here's a belated Merry Christmas. And, just in time, Happy New Year to everybody. I can't believe it's the last day of the year for me here in Sydney, Australia. It's been quite the year. There's been some exciting good things that have happened earlier on in the year, and then about halfway through it turned pretty hard, pretty dark. The loss of some family members and some close friends within short time of each other, frankly, and that made things, at least for me personally, rather difficult this year. And anyway, thank you to everyone who has subscribed to my channel, and those that continue to do so in the future. I thank you very much, and I hope that this year, coming 2024, will bring a whole lot of great things for everybody, not just for this channel, but for everybody watching at home too, and I really appreciate your time. Now, on to the miniature at hand. This I've actually had for quite a number of years. I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 years or so, but I've had this sitting around, maybe even longer than that, actually, just thinking about it. It was pre-COVID. Pre-COVID when I had these. So, yeah, I brought them because I saw them in the store. I didn't particularly want to have to start a new army to play Bolt Action by Warlord. I just thought, I love Dad's Army, the show. It's a classic. It's hilarious. And to see the little minis and to have them, to build them and to paint them, I think would be a real treat. And frankly, for those of you that know, my aunt, she died earlier this year. She was mad into this show, and she was one of the people that got me into it when I was much younger. And she was very curious when she saw this box on my desk. She was just like, oh, wow, they've actually done a Dad's Army thing. And she thought that they looked fairly accurate to the actors that portrayed the characters. And to be honest with you, the reason I'm working on these right now and showing these, it's not the normal unboxing and review because I've opened them ages ago. But I never painted them. All I did was I put them on their bases. I filled some gaps on the bases because they're slot bases. They're metal figures. And then I undercoated them. And that's all I did. And I think, to be honest, I should have worked on them back then. It would have been nice for my aunt to see them. She would have liked it. But better late than never. And I think this year, it's very important for my New Year's resolution, or hobby resolution, is to try and complete as many of my old projects as possible. Completely paint them, base them, the lot. And I know that, for a lot of people, it's, sometimes it's like, oh, you want to reduce your pile of shame or your pile of opportunity. And yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. And I'm going to start with this Dad's Army lot, which I'm really excited for. And if you can see, I'm still working on my Australians for Team Yankee, and I'm still waiting on some of the miniatures to turn up too. So they're going to stay on the desk for a while, I think, until they turn up. Anyway, let me go and grab the miniatures, and I'll show you how they look. Sorry about that. Okay. Now, I don't know if anyone can see this, but I'll try and show it off. It's something I've been using as trays to move Warhammer and miniatures and all sorts of stuff around in for years, because I've got a few of them. Anyone recognise this box or tray lid, or bottom, rather? From the old Burning of Prospero, I believe, box. Anyway, back in the day, I did actually buy 6 Burning of Prospero sets and 6 Betrayal Kauth sets. Obviously, Betrayal of Kauth coming out first. Anyway, I use these trays anyway to put projects in that I'm actively working on. This one is used for carrying things I'm taking out to spray. As you can see, I've got some cardboard bits, yeah, etc. Blue tack things too and stuff. Anyway, let's have a look at some of these little minis. Now, we'll start with the civilian dress. As you can see, this little guy. Let's just get in a little bit closer, shall we? There we are. Now, which one is he? I'm not even sure. I actually think this guy might be Godfrey. Let's have a look at the box. A little awkward with everything all around here. Let's have a little look. Okay, he's the civilian dress. This one, yeah, Charles Godfrey. He's up the top here. Charles Godfrey. That's this guy. Okay, we'll put him on the side, right? So we've got Charles Godfrey. He's there. And who have we got here? Ah, that looks like Joe Walker, I believe. Yes. So as you can see, like I've glued them to their bases. I've filled the gaps with some plastic, Vallejo plastic putty, and excuse me as I take a sip of my coffee there. You can see I've given them something similar to a zenithal, I guess you could say. It's not quite, but it is a dark grey, almost black undercoat with white highlights. On old metal miniatures, I particularly like doing this, and that looks like, is that Sergeant Wilson? Yeah, Arthur Wilson. That's his normal dress. That looks really good. I can't wait to go over these with some, probably some contrast paints from Games Workshop. To be quite honest with you, I think they'll do the best job. And here's probably my favourite one of them. They don't like it up 'em. The wonderful Jack Jones, the Butcher. Now, I don't know about everybody, but he's one of my favourites on the show. To be honest, he's probably my favourite. In fact, as weird as this might sound, I had a great aunt, Ida Therese Curtis was her name, or Tib, as we used to call her. We don't know how she got the name Tib, but everyone called her Tib for 50-something years or so. Anyway, she reminds me, or he reminds me of her, rather. The similar sort of, just how their mannerisms were and stuff. That was very similar. And here's Mr. Mannering, or Mr. Mannering as the bank manager. And he looks quite nice there. His little hat and the glasses. I love the sculpt. Like, it's brilliantly done. just brilliantly done. Tiny little detail, but it's enough, and it looks fantastic. And here we have what appears to be Merchant Seaman Fraser, as we know. The Scot is rather cool. Then we have, you stupid boy, we have Frank Pike. Now, he's got his cricket bat, and of course, his scarf, so he doesn't catch a cold or get sick. He's doing exactly as he always would, being a good little mama's boy. And who have we got here? Oh, that's got to be Hodges. That's got to be Hodges. Yep, the grocer Hodges. We'll put him, aka the Warden, if you know. In fact, this is the Warden version. This is the military version of him. Yep, looking a bit cranky. Get out of the church. It's time for my guys. Anyway, that's not exactly how he says it, but here we have the examples of the Verger and the Reverend. And as you can see, the Reverend, turn him around. Very good. I like the glasses and everything on the faces. They look brilliant. They look right. And his little sort of chubby face and funny sort of nose and everything like it. Funny nose. That's probably the worst thing to say about the poor guy. But you can tell that each character is who they're supposed to be. These sculpts are brilliant. They're just brilliant. You don't see a lot of old sculpting in metal like this anymore. It's so nice to see, especially here in Australia. We don't get as many of the nice products that you see overseas. But yeah, I really wish I could get into some Foundry and some other things. Old Hammer as well would be lovely. But yeah, there's Pike, obviously, with his Tommy machine gun, as he would say. Oh, I do love these minis. They're just. This is something about them. They're just really sweet, and like I say, like the detail on them is fantastic. I think then we've got Fraser, I believe. Yes, Private Fraser, looking good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to painting these. They don't, strike me as being too difficult, but at the same time, I might just be overconfident. We'll see how they turn out. I guess you guys on the channel can tell me if they turned out okay. And of course, this is Captain Mannering, rather than Bank Manager Mannering, or Manwaring, as the generals always seem to get it wrong and call him. Then we've got Lance Corporal Jones. Again, just like my great aunt. Very funny. Similar sort of mentality. Yeah. They don't like it up 'em, as he says. And there you go. You can see he's pointing it out to stick it right up 'em. The pointy end. Sergeant Wilson. Now, Sergeant Wilson looks quite good. And he's got his, his typical thing where he's sort of just scratching the side of his face there when he's thinking. That's usually his thing. They've captured that perfectly. I think that this is medic, the medic as in Godfrey. I think that's what it is. Yes, Private Godfrey Medic. He's got his little bag and everything. The face is good too. Like, it's just so realistic. Really nice. Then you've got, of course, with his cigarette in mouth, Private Walker. The bit of a scallywag he is, but a good one to have on your side in a time of war or crisis, I believe. Now, obviously, I need to paint these up and make them look good, but that's not the video today. We're just showing off. The Dad's Army Bolt Action Home Guard Platoon set, with the promise that I intend to paint these, and to paint them as well as I can, and hopefully you guys will like it, or you lot rather will like it, and yeah, I hope I like it too, and I really hope that my aunt you know, I'm sure she would have liked it if she was here. And, yeah, I just wish I had done it sooner. And, you know, I know that might sound depressing. I'm bringing up my dead aunt again and that. But it's just a reminder to me that sometimes, as humans, we take on projects, we do things, and sometimes we don't finish them. And then later on we come back to them, we give them a go, and it's wonderful when we do finally finish some of these projects. And when you had people in your life who supported you in doing these projects, and something happens and they then can't either be a part of the experience or be able to share in your success or your failure or whatever the case may be, it's sad. And yeah, it hasn't been an easy year. But all we can do is whinge about the past and hope for a better future. Now, I don't necessarily recommend people whinge about the past, but I mean, sometimes I find that comforting. But looking forward to the future and what it might bring. What other miniatures might we see here on the desk, on this cutting mat? What else will turn up? Maybe some of the miniatures we've already seen that need to be built, painted, etc. Finishing those projects. Now, have any of you out there got any projects that you're trying to finish off? Or perhaps you have your pile of opportunity. Let's not call it a pile of shame. Let's call it a pile of opportunity. Maybe you've got a pile of opportunity and you need to slay the grey, as Ninjon would say. And you need to make time to do that. Maybe it's been hard, whatever. But yeah, if you really want to get your projects done, I hope you can. And it only takes a little bit of paint, whatever colours you want to use, some brushes, some due diligence, and if I was wearing a watch, time. That's all it takes. And if we can all just do a little bit more, I guess, with our collections every year, whether that be building, painting, and playing the games, I think we'll all be much happier. And I hope that that is something that resonates with people who watch the channel, that, the more we work on these things, the better our skills become, and hopefully the more fun we can have. Ultimately, this is a hobby, and we do it to pass the time, and not only to pass it, but to have a really good time too. So, yeah. I'll be really interested, as I said, to know what you guys are doing, to know what you are up to, whether you got any miniatures this Christmas, any special gifts, any new projects, new year, new army sort of thing. Is that going on for any of you? And what army might that be? Or what miniatures might you have been gifted for Christmas? What might you be buying yourself later in the year? Who knows? That's why I'd like to know. Let's talk about it in the comments. Let's talk about it in the chat, and that way we can all inspire each other, and maybe get a few hints and tips on what we're going to be doing with our miniatures into the future. I thank you all very much for coming and checking us out here at Griffinix Tabletop Miniatures. I have been your host, Matt DeHat. Yeah. I've got to get these painted. Better get started now. No time like the present. And I guess I'll catch you lot in the next one. Happy New Year, everybody.